Hello, beautiful babes. Welcome to the Cosmic Club Rituals and Real Talk, a podcast where mystical meets the grounded. I'm your host, LCL, Paralympian intuitive healer, transformative coach, your sacred hype woman, and I'm here to have real conversations with you, the kind that will move you through healing and self-belief and identity shifts and connect you to your soul's purpose. We'll talk energy and emotion and courage and creation, and we'll wrap that up with different rituals that have helped me and will help others and have helped others to begin again and again. Whether you're a spiritual entrepreneur, a seeker of the truth on this path, or you're just waking up to your own magic, this is your space. Welcome. A place to land, to rise, and to remember who you are. Take a deep breath and drop in. Let's begin. Welcome to the club. I'm so pumped to welcome you to the new and improved Courageous Conversation podcast. When I left to head off on my spiritual pilgrimage in April, I'd done, I think, 10 episodes of Courageous Conversations and was loving it, and then went off and had all this incredible spiritual awakening and shifts and changes about who I was as a person and the things that I wanted in my life and bloody, 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 blah, all the things. And I came back and I was like, oh, it doesn't kind of it doesn't sit with me anymore to have the podcast named Courageous Conversations. Not to say that, there won't be courageous conversations in this new format, but the trip taught me to be brave, braver than I had ever thought I was and could be. And it taught me to give myself the permission to really say the things that I have been wanting to say for a long time. And so I know that in some ways, some of the stuff I'll be talking about, well, my assumption is some of the stuff that I'll be talking about is going to be different to what I've spoken about before. And for people who already know me, who don't know that I'm into that kind of stuff, maybe it'll be a bit of a shock. That's cool. I'm cool with that because I am feeling more myself than I ever have. But I wanted to kind of drop back in and give you a little bit of update on what the trip was like and the things that I realized about myself while I was over there, and also talk a little bit about what is kind of coming and a little mini series in the podcast that I'm going to launch alongside this, and all of the beautiful things that are coming out of the world of the Elsteel Empire. And I hope that it is enlightening, and I hope that it allows you to just feel more connected to your life and in presence with yourself. So the trip was for about 4.5 weeks. We landed in London, and that was great, and I love the hustle and bustle of London. I definitely could live there for a period of time. And what I noticed there was that over there, they're like pretty cool about disability. The access is great. No one treats you weird. No one makes any kind of interesting comments to you, which you definitely get when you're in Australia. And it was so beautifully enlightening and happy and joyful for me to experience that. And it really boosted my confidence, and it made me really feel that I could move in a space across the other side of the world in a way that was from power. And I just frothed that. After some time in London, me and my parents got a car and went down to Cornwall. And the reason that we went to Cornwall was because that's where Morgan Le Fay is from, and the story of King Arthur and the Round Table, and Glastonbury. And I'd always wanted to be able to go to Glastonbury, to the Isle of Avalon, to the Tor, to be in the space of the heart chakra of the world, and to really connect in with my ancestry and my spiritual ancestry as a priestess. And it was, I don't even really know how to explain what it was like. All that I can say is that last night I was lying in bed thinking, oh my God, I wish I was in Glastonbury still. So it was profound and magical, and I got a chance to go to the Chalice Well, which is a sacred space for priestesses. I got to walk through the two yew trees, which are the gateway to Avalon, which is where Morgane went to become a priestess and worked with her auntie Vivian, the Lady of the Lake. And I got to connect in with the power and the magic of that space. And we had the most beautiful afternoon there, where I got to talk to Merlin and Morgane in conversation by the Chalice Well. I got some of the water too, and we had a cup of tea with the gardener, David. And David was talking to us about how they work with the garden and the magic of the garden, and how he communicates with the garden through using dowsing rods. And we had a little bit of a go of the dowsing rods, and my parents had a go too. It's something that was very new to them. They'd never experienced anything like that before, so that was really wonderful to be able to do that with them. And then David said that the garden wanted to have a conversation with me. So we asked the dowsing rods to pick a plant that I needed, and to go and like the length of the plant, and like what stem it was on, and every question was continually asked through these rods. And I came home with a little sprig of chamomile to have in my tea post dinner that night, and to receive messages in my dreams from. And I got to say that the dreams that I had from that were very potent and powerful, and they're for me. So I won't be sharing what they are, what happened in those dreams, but it was such a beautiful experience to be in a space that brings in earth magic and earth healing into connection with mind. And it really kind of stuck with me. and struck me that there was something within myself and who I was as a person that was missing out on that kind of medicinal witch kitchen garden healing magic vibes. So that's definitely something that I'm wanting to bring into my life a lot more now. After Glastonbury, we stayed in a place called Boss Castle, where the Museum of Witchcraft was, and it was like better than anything I had ever imagined it could be. And I learned a lot more about different types of witchcraft and a lot more about apothecary and kind of different herbs and spices and all the different things that I was already playing with, but I learned at a much deeper level about what the origin was of that and the different language and conversation and music and the way that the witches would weave their magic into their everyday life. And it was really, yeah, it was great. The rest of the trip was spent with my cousins, as I mentioned before, and then I spent some time in Scotland and then came back to England and spent some time with my auntie at York, which is the most haunted town in England. And the two kind of big, profound things that happened at that end of the trip were that I got to go to Beatrix Potter's house and I got to go to the Brontes' house. So if you don't know who the Brontes are, Wuthering Heights, Jane Eyre, those kind of books from a long time ago. I don't even know when they were published, but they were one of my favorite books is Jane Eyre, and it was really beautiful to be able to go into those spaces. And what I took from those experiences were that there are powerful women with stories everywhere, and that so much of the conversation around women tapping into their spirituality or the innate divine feminine of who they are was squashed by fear from most commonly men and most commonly religious views. And that sat very uncomfortably with me. Not so much the Brontes or Beatrix Potter, but so many of the stories of the different goddess or paganism or the way to look at the world as if it is a place for us to land and to be with the magic that is around us was squashed by these ideals of the women's voice should not be heard, that kind of story around should be seen and not heard. And it felt really uncomfortable. And so over the like coming weeks from coming home and what I thought about a lot while I was away was that I realized that so much of my life I had made sure that everyone was okay before me. And this is like a pretty vulnerable share. Not to say that I hadn't expressed what it was that I was feeling to people. I absolutely have, but in more sense of when I was a teenager, I would like kind of blow up rather than just kind of having a conversation about stuff. But what was really what really kind of came out from this whole process was that I've got it and that every moment and everything I've achieved up until this moment has been because of me. And yes, people have supported me, but because I have driven something, and what an incredible person has done that, and that's what's in me. So I feel like it's really important to talk around this idea of where in your life are you making sure that everyone is more comfortable than you are, and then you're feeling frustrated, or maybe you're not even feeling frustrated. Maybe you're just like, oh, this is how it is, because I want to question that belief around this is how it is, or it is what it is. It doesn't have to be like that. I had been so scared to talk about my beliefs around the goddess and essentially my paganism and that what my how I wanted to live my life and how I kind of came to my spiritual truths that I had a period of the trip where I don't know whether I really talked a lot about what I wanted to for nearly 10 days because of the people that I was around. That is not their problem. That is absolutely mine. That's my issue at 41 years old to work through. And what I learned from that experience was that I didn't want other people to do that. I didn't want other people to be hiding themselves and holding themselves back in fear that the people who are meant to love them, who do love them, didn't want to hear all the truth of what was coming and what was in their heart. And so, what I really hope for this re reframed and rebranded and new beautiful potty is that we can have these conversations, the real talk conversations around what it is that makes our lives feel special because of who we are. And we can talk about the fact that we've spent all these years, and this goes, I'm saying we openly as in a generalizing statement, that so many of us have spent so much time being conditioned by the world that we have then forgotten what it is to actually speak our truth out. When I think about me as a woman with a disability, a spiritual woman with a disability, it has been so hard for me to truly step into my own power in this space because I've made it hard for myself. That's like one kind of cornerstone part, but also because there's no one else there that looks like me. There's no one else out in this space that I know of that, I mean, there are disabled witches, don't get me wrong, that are doing what I have done as a Paralympian and then as a priestess. And so I'm paving a path that no one has walked before or wheeled before. But also by stepping into and healing the witch wound and stepping into the truth as a healer and stepping into the truth of the things that make me who I am and how I want to live in the world, that also is something that is not necessarily celebrated or okay in elements of society that feel like they don't understand it. And then on top of that, oh my God, having a disability, well, then there's all these people out there who think that who think that they know how I could live my life better without asking what it is that I need. So if you have all these different like idiosyncrasies or little bits and pieces that make up you as a person, then let's keep listening and chatting and playing in this space because I feel like the conversations in this podcast might be helpful to you. I want this next season of your life to feel like a love story. I want this next season of your life to feel like you are getting a chance to really shape how it is and how you want to feel every day. And in doing that, it's also important to see and ask questions as to where maybe you're not being supportive of your growth and you're trying to rush through things, or where you may be playing out patterning or old narratives that are actually not yours. So, over the next season of this podcast, however many episodes that is, because who freaking knows, I'm just going by intuition. I hope that we discover the answer to some of these questions or some of these thought processes and practices. Over the next few weeks, you'll see just normal, same style podcast episodes with me and some special guests. And then I will be doing a mini series in the next, I think it's like 3-ish weeks, 4 weeks, from inspired by my Beautiful Heroine program, which is just so freaking amazing. In Heroine, we work and we walk alongside different goddesses to help us to step into our true power as women and powerful humans. And so I thought that the heroines deserve to have their own beautiful podcast. Whether it is, I haven't even asked any of them to be on it yet, but whether they come and have a chat or whether we just talk with the goddesses. I haven't worked it out yet because done is better than perfect. My beautiful babes. I can't wait to share more of this with you from a place of non-performative practice, from a place of someone who has gone away and realized her true power and now is back in a beautiful space of calm and clear and clarity and love. It is always a joy, and I can't wait to talk to you real soon. Make sure you subscribe, share, do all the things for this potty to help it keep on growing, and I love you. See ya.